If I may, I'd like to pose an interesting question. Are all human beings truly equal? These days, everywhere you go, there's talk about the fight for equality. As a wise man once said, heaven does not create one person above or below another. People like to throw his words around. But that's not the whole quote. He goes on to say that while we are all equal at birth, pretty soon things begin to change. Academic effort is what sets some people apart to rise above the others. At any rate, humans change over time based on their actions. Truth be told, at the end of the day, equality is just a fantasy. And most of us go through life denying the fact that we live in a meritocracy.
Why are you crying? This is your doing. You said you'd rather feel pain yourself than inflict it on others. You choose to be neutral. But you know what happens when you play both sides? In the end, everybody loses. You saw what happened with your mother.
Why couldn't you just live for me? You had a choice! Why didn't you choose me?
Even if it meant forsaking your aunt?
Yes, if she'd be here now!
Even if it meant hurting her?
If it had to be done!
Even if it meant killing her?
Whatever it takes!
Learn the lesson your mother couldn't seem to grasp. That sometimes, to protect one thing, you have to have the resolve to let go of another. But you're not weak like she was. You have the power to break this chain of grief.
Anyone who tries to take them from me will get no mercy.
And what if your decision ends up being the wrong one in the end?
That won't happen, because I'm not wrong. What's wrong is this messed up world.
If I may be permitted to give my opinion once more, Generals Zetor and Rudersdorf are logical pragmatists, highly skilled in political and military matters, no doubt about that. They make for great soldiers. In fact, the same could be said for you as well. Our strategic HQ is truly a bastion of logic, a fortress of knowledge. You could even call it a think tank. It's because of this that you've all come to believe the war is at its end. Because it's the only rational conclusion given the circumstances. But, you see, that sort of thinking ignores one critical component of war.
And that would be what? Indulge me.
Our chief strategists are far too rational. In a way, it makes them blind to the real world. And thus, they've completely overlooked something crucial. Rationalism and pragmatism are not the only things that drive human actions. At our cores, we are all still foolish creatures.
You're suggesting that humans are merely beasts? That we're still slaves to our baser instincts without care for logic?
I hate to be the one who has to tell you this, Lieutenant Colonel, but what you just said is exactly right.
Preposterous. What evidence do you have?
Knowledge of history. Though I guess I really mean my own history. My own personal experiences and memories.
Explain how you know, then.
I have seen hatred personified. It burned in the eyes of a man promising retribution no matter what the cost. I have seen the moment when a talented soldier lost all reason and gave himself over to anger. I have witnessed countless acts of vengeance. They were driven by fury. And so I've realized something during this war. No, perhaps it would be more appropriate to say I remembered something that I'd forgotten. That I have personally experienced the irrationalism of humanity. I know what happens when emotions make someone unreasonable. No matter how much we believe we've modernized, no matter what social constructions we pledge to live by, humans continue to be foolish creatures. We think we're so advanced, but when pushed, we still prioritize emotion over logic. When a human being's overcome with hatred, they'll keep fighting without concern for self-interest or reason, regardless of what they might stand to gain or lose.
There's no point standing around. We'll only be showered by more boulders. Ready your horses on the double!
Be honest. Are all of us riding to our deaths?
Yes, we are.
And since we're dying anyway, you're saying that it's better if we at least die fighting?
I am.
But wait, if we'll die anyway, then who cares what we do? We could just disobey your orders, and it wouldn't mean a thing, would it?
Yes, you're precisely right. Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield. None of it changes what a speeding rock does to a body. We all die. But does that mean our lives are meaningless? Does that mean that there was no point in our being born? Would you say that of our slain comrades? What about their lives? Were they meaningless? They were not! Their memory serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen, their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them! And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us! Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world! My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream out! My soldiers rage!
What's this all about?
Sorry, but I knew you wouldn't want to sit still for a lecture, so I figured I had to pin you down. Let it go. You've got to forget about revenge.
What?
Believe me, in this work I've met a lot of guys who feel the way you do. Trust me, for those who follow the path of revenge, it never ends well. You'll only tear yourself apart. And even if you succeed and you get your revenge, what will you have then? Nothing. Emptiness.
Shut up! What makes you think you know anything about it? It's easy for you to talk. You have no idea!
Easy. Just try to calm down.
Maybe if I was to kill the most important people in your life, everyone who's ever meant anything, maybe then I'd listen to you. Because maybe then you'd have some idea how I feel.
It's an interesting theory, but I'm afraid you're a little late to put it to the test. Everyone you're talking about has already been killed.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen, everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated. I want to sever the fate of this world. A world of only victors. A world of only peace. A world of only love. I will create such a world. I am the ghost of the Uchiha. For truly this reality is a hell.
I hate nice girls. If they so much as say hello, it stays on my mind. If they return my text, my heart races. The day one calls me, I know I'll look at my call history and grin. But I know in my heart, that's just them being nice. People who are nice to me are also nice to everyone else. I almost end up forgetting that. If the truth is cruel, then lies must be kind. That's why kindness is a lie. I gave up on always expecting it, always mistaking it, and even hoping for it. Someone who's been alone for so long doesn't fall for the same trick twice. I'm a veteran. I'm the best there is when it comes to losing. And that's why I'll always hate nice girls.